Welcome back to Combat Sports Weekly. This is the part of the show where we take a look at national, local headlines, and your favorite highlights. Let's jump right into the national news. Dan Henderson and Tim Boesch, UFC NOLA.
Back to number 13, Hendo's.
Hendo and Tim Boesch actually trade spots because Boesch, before this fight, was ranked 13th. Now you have a comeback. You think he can make a run?
I mean, I'll root for him for sure. You know, he looked great.
Yeah,
Why
but
not?
a guy pushing into it, in his 40s is a little difficult. And another topic we got to take a look at here, Miguel Cotto and Daniel Geale, and what was an impressive performance for Miguel Cotto in fourth round TKO, and hopefully he fights, one of our favorite fighters, Canelo Alvarez. How big do you think a fight like that would be?
I think it'll be great. And will it be close? Because I would go.
No, it would probably be in New York. So hopefully it happens in Vegas. I mean, there'd be a lot of money there. So hopefully that takes place. A fight that's taking place this weekend, Nicholas Walters is fighting Miguel Mariga. For those who have never seen Nicholas Walters fight, 11 of his last 12 fights have been by TKO. They call him the Axeman. This fight's for Walters' WBA featherweight title. So make sure you guys catch that on HBO. Another fight, Deontay Wilder, one of the only heavyweights here in New Mexico, in the United States to win a title, taking on a random guy by the name of, Eric Molina. We talked about an Aaron Martinez last week, of just guys that sound like you went to middle school with. But Deontay, how do you feel about these champions taking these all right fights, I guess, and not jumping right into another shark?
I don't know. Maybe that's all that there is for him in order to stay busy, then cool. But if you're handpicking people and you're the champ, come on. Yeah,
it's a little difficult, especially this one's taking place in his backyard. Another guy, Erzlandi Lara, a very talented fighter, a lot of people felt may have beat Canelo Alvarez in their fight in a split decision, taking on Delvin Rodriguez. For those that remember Delvin, Austin Trout made a huge splash here in the American scene by facing Delvin Rodriguez here in his first fight in the United States. The next topic that we're taking a look at, how crazy do you expect Mexico City to be?
I think it'd be
Saturday
amazing
night?
To be there and witness that. That's great. I am taking the underdog, and you are going to owe me.
And we still got to figure out what you're going to owe me when we get back on Monday after that fight. So Fabricio Verdum, Cain Velasquez. Cain, a huge favorite, 5-1 favorite in that one. Jody doesn't care. All right, it's over with the national headlines. You're going to owe me something. Local headlines. Victoria Cisneros traveled to Sweden on 2 weeks' notice to fight Michaela Lauren, the champion of the WBC, at 154 pounds. What do you think of Victoria traveling across the pond there to get a world title or to fight for one at least?
I'm not at all the least bit surprised. Victoria is such a tough warrior, and of course she would take a world title shot 2 weeks' notice, That's
yeah, definitely. And unfortunately, she did come up short, losing that one by fourth round TKO. And another guy locally, and one of the guys that we hope is one of our developing prospects, Brian Mendoza, went to Virginia and defeated Dontre King and won via third round KO. He is now 6-0 with 4 KOs. A tough guy, Brian, just being able to defeat a guy on the road and a veteran. So he's out of Fidel Maldonado's camp. Fidel, our next topic here. Fidel Maldonado Jr., apparently he's looking to move down from 140 pounds to 135 or 130, and that's according to the Albuquerque Journal and what Fidel Maldonado Sr. said. So what do you think of that?
I think that's great. I think that, it's great if it works for him.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot to think about when you're a fighter dropping down in weight class. Do you do the trial weight class cut?
Yeah.
Do you, does your power come with you? Do you, but hey, you got to try it. If it's not working where you're at, then figure it out, right?
And in those lower weight classes, Fidel did have a lot of power. We have more local news, especially out of the southern El Paso, New Mexico, Paso area. Abie Han will be taking on Jose Shibata Flores. The fight scheduled for July 3rd at the Socorro Entertainment Center in Texas. It's a fight. Shibata has tons of fights and tons of experience, so it'd be a pretty good fight for Abie Han. Another fight that's going to take in El Paso, it's Carl Frampton. The very next topic, he's one of the world champions, one of the fastest and most growing guys there in the United Kingdom. His first fight will take place in El Paso, in his first fight here in the United States against Alejandro Gonzalez. Frampton, again, his first trip to the U.S. This is looking to be a huge card as Chavez Jr. might be on there. So Chavez Jr. in a world title fight, would you make the drive down there?
I would go, absolutely.
Yeah, that'd be huge and something we definitely look to cover. So that does it for the local headlines. Big news for El Paso there, especially the last 2 stories. Let's take a look at some of the highlights. Please don't hit me. I don't want to be a highlight. Saturday night, New York. Look at that
Oh.
left hook.
Oh my goodness.
If you were to build a fighter, you would give him Miguel Cotto's left hook. Look how brutal that is against Daniel Geale, just landing flush, just giving it to him. He looked like the old Cotto, didn't
Yeah,
he?
I thought it was so awesome. I'm such a Cotto fan.
Yeah, pretty big one as well. As far as, you know, some of the best fighters, one of the top 5 fighters, especially here within the last 10, 15 years, I feel. Daniel Geale, it was just too much for him. Cotto showing a lot of emotion because he knows he's gonna get paid in his fight against Canelo Alvarez. Here's one of your guys. Tell us what you see here.
Yes, I think it was so awesome. Just such a smart game plan. You know, you see that veteran cage savviness. You're coming straight forward. He came in wide, countered down the middle. It was textbook. You know, hands
It was
are up.
surprising. I mean, he kind of faked like he was going to shield himself and came right to it, and this uppercut that he delivered right
Ooh,
here.
that was a good right hand right
just
before
lays
it
him
too.
out.
Yeah.
Dan Henderson, I don't want to necessarily say that he's back, but he's back as to being ranked in one of the top 15 fighters in the world in that weight class. More boxing, PBC on NBC. This is on early on NBC Sports Network. You go Victor Chinian going down with a huge right hand to Jesus Cuellar. That was just brutal. And Victor Chinian, unfortunately, you know, he's fought for a lot of world titles, but he's taken a lot of
He
those
tries to
shots.
do the shake off,
Yeah,
but he can't shake it off.
I mean,
I know,
how
I've been there.
difficult
It's
is it? Yeah,
okay.
you've been there and
you
not-
try to do the shake off, and it's like, oh, I don't think I really am.
Nothing's happening there. Obviously, 8th round stoppage. That was pretty brutal. You see the towel come in, so everyone knew that fight was over. Robert Guerrero taking on our boy, who we went to middle school with, Aaron Martinez. It's
Aaron.
a joke that I've been making. Aaron Martinez gave him hell for the first half of the fight and then kind of faded later on. Robert Guerrero, all of a sudden, in this past 3 fights, has turned into this telephone booth fighter that's making for exciting fights. You know what? He went down. That surprised everyone. So it was just unreal that the being a 50-1 favorite, you know,
Right.
it's just Robert Guerrero shouldn't put himself in those positions to go back to boxing, don't you think?
Exactly, of course. But it's hard not to. And then you get the taste of brawling inside like that, and it's fun. It's stupid, but it's
Yeah.
fun.
Well, hopefully Robert Guerrero can gain that boxing, you know, activity that he had as one of the better fighters in the last, 2-3 years here, and one of the more entertaining ones. But that does it for the headlines and highlights segment. Make sure you guys stick around because we have a pretty good roundtable and, bigger news here. Danny Romero Jr. joins us and tackles some pretty good topics and let us know what he's doing now that his boxing career is over. Catch you guys after the break.